And our live stream at the Race World Onshore Facebook page is brought to you by Maximum Inflation, presenting sponsor. Maximum Inflation brand CO2 cartridges, gas for everything, inflatable. Todd Swafford back here with you. We're getting set to super stock boats are getting ready to roll out. We just finished with the Truman Waterfront Cup podium for several different classes. Joined back by Eric Colby of Speed on the Water. Steve Miklos is going to join us here in a moment. Joey Cook still with us from the Citizen. Let's get these boats and their positions on the pole lined up for everybody, Eric.
All right, we've got 11 of them, and on the inside lane is Team Bermuda at 32 Doug Wright with David Sully driving and Stephen Bridges, and they are from Bermuda. Lane 2 is LPC with Anthony Smith from Horsepower Mafia driving, and Lauren Peters is on throttles. Lane 3 is Coco's Monkey with AJ Bogino, 32 Doug Wright, and Scott Porte is going to be on the throttles. Oh, we've got to start.
Yep, green flag is up. The race is on. Ale Vite. And we see our pole position boats. We'll have a better line heading down towards turn number 1. This is going to get congested with 11 boats in this class. Jackhammer is on the far outside.
And Coco's got a bad start. They're way back.
Yep, but Jackhammer is looking real well, but remember, they are on the outside. They were as far out as you could be.
Jackhammer's in lane 11.
There comes the S2
here comes
boat.
Allied.
Yeah, that's the new Allied construction, the new hull from Sean Torrente and Sean Connor. Team Bermuda had the inside line, and they look good heading out towards turn number 1. Steve Miklos joins us. What kind of conditions did you see out there, Steve?
You know, it was pretty good. It was relatively predictable going to turn 1. Turn 1 to turn 2 was actually very unpredictable, and out of 2 towards the mole, it was rough at first, but it calmed down. It got predictable, but there was a little bit of everything out there.
Yeah, we're seeing a little more outgoing tide now going up against the wind as it goes out into the harbor. Team Bermuda makes that turn pretty well, and we'll see how it sorts out on that leg out there. That looks like a Doug Wright hole potentially out there.
Yep.
It sure does, but again,
but that looks like Allied right behind there with that lower profile.
It sure does. And obviously, they've got through the turn. That's the hardest, most important thing when you have 11 boats going through that turn out there at the wall. So the lead boats are coming down on the eastbound leg towards Fort Zachary Taylor. They're passing the Fury. A little bit of air there.
I talked to Sean Torrente about the new boat this morning. He's just so excited about the potential.
Yeah, that definitely looks like Jackhammer running pretty well on the outside. A little bit of hops there going on for several of the boats as they almost come in together. Okay, here come your lead boats down the chute in front of the fans into the Monster Energy fan zone in front of us here at the Truman Annex Outer Mole.
Yeah, when they're in the air, there's not much control in them, right, Steve?
Yeah.
No,
I'm surprised there was no collisions actually.
Yeah,
there's many different directions they were coming through.
That's Jackhammer, folks.
This is Jackhammer in first.
Jackhammer in first after lap number 1.
Bermuda's in second.
And LPC in third. Performance Boat Center in fourth. Celsius in fifth. LPC, Allied, and Team Allen Lawn Care almost running on the backside of Allied. Pretty much all of your boats back around. Coco's Monkey has come up and taken the rear, but made up some of that.
Where's Big East?
I did not see Big East.
They could.
How about North Wing?
I did not see either one of those two come through, but there was so much wash coming through. It's hard to tell.
We'll have to watch them when they head back around the harbor turn. They made.
Or Curry.
Curry came through. I saw Curry for sure.
Curry came in. They were maybe the top 6 or 7.
But Big East is so with that bright neon colors. It's almost hard to miss that.
Oh, there they are.
one.
I see them down in the far turn.
Yeah, they sure are. We're there. They were on the backside of that wash.
I talked to Gary Ballou. He said the boat was running great. They started so well last year, despite all of the tumultuous weather, especially on that first race day on Friday. But boy, Jackhammer's got it going on.
Yeah, Julia
Maldonado on throttles.
Maldonado
do
not mess around.
Driving that boat, a dominant boat on the National Series up until.
There's North Wing and Big East.
Yeah, they were in there, so all of our boats have come around.
But Jackhammer's moved out to the early lead.
Good shot of Jackhammer. That's a 32-foot victory hull.
Yep.
With the twin 300 horsepower Mercury Racing engines. Now those Mercury Racing engines have a 20-inch midsection. They run about 5 inches higher than the old XSs. they've caused some issues for these boats with the center of gravity, especially in a really choppy, confused sea. But I don't think they're going to have trouble today. And if there is one boat that can super well handle those high-profile engines, it's that big tank of a boat, the Victory Hull.
It is a taller profile. And let's see what happens with Curry with the only 300 XSs left in the class, because they have the shorter midsection, and two-strokes have always been known for being torquey. So
yep, they unfortunately blew a powerhead yesterday in testing, and they did get that boat back together last night late with the help of some local friends, and they are out there and they were running pretty well. Billy Allen blew a dry shaft, found some motor mounts that were busted. They were working into the night in the defending Superstock World Championship
Now, this looks like
team.
Northwing coming up on the inside here. They got 77.
That is Superstock racing right there at its best.
That's the old Hulk boat that loved down here.
Oh, we see Jackhammer coming around in front of the fans at Fort Zachary Taylor, soon to approach the Monster Energy fan zone here at the Truman Waterfront. Little bounce is what you usually get right there. That's difficult to confuse water, Steve. Out there
absolutely.
In front of the fort.
Yes. It's never the same twice.
Now, what are the rebounds like coming off the wall?
You know, it depends on who's in front of you and the displacement of their hull. In this case, they're pretty similar. So the guys out front, though, have an absolute advantage compared to everyone in the back.
Now, how weird was it running with the Class 1 boats on the course at the same time for you in a Mod V?
They were super professional and did us, you know, we all respected each other.
There's Celsius up in the third.
Yep, and Team Bermuda in second.
And that's
LPC
Jay
in
Muller.
fourth. Big East in fifth.
Coco's Monkeys also come from the very back to mid-pack in one lap.
Ally Construction has fallen back behind Team Allen Lawn Care and Performance Boat Center.
But big, you know, that's what Celsius was looking for by putting Jay Muller in the boat, was being up towards the front, and he's already looking like I think he's top 3.
Yeah, I have Celsius sitting at third, yes.
And Casey Boaz is now in Northwing with Darren Kittredge. And Casey's no slouch when it comes to stock world title runs.
So there's Chris Hopgood with Jay Muller. That's the old Tyler excavating boat that won the world championship with
Jay Muller throttling
in 2015.
That was Kyler Talbot excavating. Talbot excavating, right?
Talbot excavating.
They were very close friends, and unfortunately, we lost Kyler at a young age. But
Talbot excavating boat won 2015. Jackhammer, there's your overall leader heading back out to turn number 1. They averaged 88 miles an hour on the last lap. And they seem to be pulling away from Team Bermuda. Now Celsius is moving up and challenging for second with Team Bermuda. I think they've edged out, but Team Bermuda has the inside line.
Northwing looks like it's inside of Bermuda right there. Let's see what happens when they come by. No need to argue.
Yeah, well, Celsius was in third when they passed here. In front of LPC Racing and Big East Construction and Northwing. So
Coco's Monkey got to LPC, which I
did they on the way out?
Maybe LPC had a moment and went back to Coco's Monkey, or Coco's Monkey is really making some steam. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, the Bogino boat that is sponsored here locally by Coco's Monkey Apparel Company. They are out here on the mall at the outer mall and in the Rap Beats Race Village, selling apparel with the boat on it. And that boat, its bottom is designed by the man who designed yours, Steve Miklos, and Scott Porte.
Yes, that's probably why I'm paying such close attention to him.
And you could just tell that Scott Porte was ready to race today. He was excited. Yes. So that was good to see him get back in and want to be out there.
Yeah, he does.
Seems to have made up some speed. He says that is the fastest boat out here. And of course, the proof is on the water here in this 3-race world championship in Key West. There's Jackhammer, your overall leader, coming back around lap number 3.
And they're running 7 laps today, correct?
7 laps, correct.
Today and Friday. And then 10 on Sunday. So here's Jackhammer. Yeah, I don't see a for sale sign on there. I guess Reese's wife said you can't sell it, and they're not.
Oh.
Everything's for sale,
That's a good wife.
at some point.
Yes, it is.
But, all right, that is
Northwing.
You were correct.
Up to 2.
Way to go, Eric Colby. Team Bermuda in third. It's a photo finish for third. Celsius right there as well.
Big East is up to 5th.
Yeah, Gary's definitely picked up a little bit.
Gary's cagey.
Oh,
LPC is 6th, and looks like Coco's is 7th. Little surprised to see Performance Boat Center a little off, but Myrick might just be getting dialed into the stock boat after being in the Class 1 boat.
And limping by here is the S2 hull of Sean Tarente, Sean Connor. They're your reigning world champion. Yeah. But they raced that 32 MTI that they bought from Team Abu Dhabi over from XCAT. And that thing won the world championship. This is the boat they'll be campaigning next year. They had some success in it in testing and wanted to bring here and debut it in front of the world at the
championships. Looks to me like they're pulling off.
And now it seems to be maybe pulling into the infield as we watch. Jackhammer continuing to lead. Interesting story about Jackhammer. Up until Clearwater, they had finished on a podium in double-digit finishes, but hit that buoy in Clearwater and it knocked them out of the national championship punt.
Here's North Wing pulling away a little bit from Bermuda.
Now, North Wing is the old Hulk boat.
Yep.
It was the first carbon fiber boat to come out of a mold from Doug Wright. Completely rebuilt and redesigned by Grant Bruggeman of Grant's Custom Rigging.
Still not sure about the whole idea of white Mercury outboards, but I'll have to get over it. I'm an old guy.
What do you think of chartreuse boats with the Big East construction? Comments? None?
Well,
move on.
Are the engines green?
And yeah, I think they are, but we'll have to double check. I like it. I like it because I'm an old guy and it's easy to see.
Yeah,
you know, in the spray.
That's like the Performance Boat Center red outboards.
That's right.
But here we just have a shadow, because we're in that glare that we get down here every year.
Yeah, 4 laps to go. We're already halfway through it as we'll watch the lead boats again coming down on that, what they call the wall, but today it's pretty tame. Although maybe get a little bit extra chop with this outgoing tide. Just doesn't seem like the wind's going to kick up and cause any trouble here today, but that's still to be determined. Friday may be very similar with similar tidal conditions, but there is a chance that a front will come in and stir things up on Sunday. We'll keep our eyes on that.
Now, Steve, as a competitor, do you want it to bump up? Do you like it bumpier?
We know it separates certain people from the front of the pack, but we also know it's a lot harder race. Whenever Britt's here, it's always very difficult.
There's Jackhammer continuing to lead in super stock class.
But you hear some throttlemen say that a flat calm race is tougher on the equipment just because you're wringing everything's neck so hard.
It is. And you oddly enough, you take more chances in
Here's
a calm
North
race.
Wing in second.
Yep.
And that McLaren Boston logo you see on the side of that boat. Celsius is taking third. Bermuda's in fourth. Big East still fifth.
Big East made a little time on that lap, though.
And LPC is sixth. Performance Boat Center up to 7.
Yeah, past Coco's Monkey.
And Coco's is 8th. Team Allen 9. But that McLaren decal you see is because Danny DeSantis, from an offshore racing veteran from years back, is friends with Darren Kittredge, and they're both from Massachusetts.
Oh.
So he gets the McLaren Boston logo on there and probably gets to go for a pretty cool ride in some cars sometimes.
So we get to see Team Bermuda running side by side with Celsius. Great to see Team Bermuda here again. Quite a big contingent they have here from the island to watch David Sully and Stephen Bridges. And the boat has been fast a couple of times, getting up early to an early lead, but has yet to finish up in a podium.
And just back of these two fighting side by side, Big East is now up to 4th.
Those guys fighting for third. Third place is a big battle between Team Bermuda and Chris Hopgood with his first chance, number 1. And now just 2.5 laps left to go here in the super stock class. They're riding that boat pretty well. They're keeping it pretty level and flat, keeping that bow down.
I did get a chance to talk to Michael Stancomb during the when you were doing the awards in the last break, and he's a little sore, but he was in one of the two boats that was in the Bracket 500 incident and down in the harbor.
Checking.
But you're not going to keep him out of a boat. And
I saw some of the in-boat footage from that, and it was a very violent accident.
Tell us about how hard that turn is to navigate in the harbor there. It's so sharp. There isn't a sharper turn anywhere in racing.
No, it's an increasing radius. So you go in there and you could either try to go in slow and come out fast, or you just put it in there and bleed the speed off, which is faster, but it's also harder to get right.
Here comes Jackhammer, your overall leader in Superstock class. It has been their day all the way, start to finish.
Yeah,
They're still seeking their first world championship here in Key West.
Yeah, speaking of getting it right, those guys are...
Yeah, amazing. Particularly with Gary having a similar boat, and Gary's, obviously a huge talent.
And here comes North Wing, still running in second place.
They ran very well last year here with Grant Bruggeman in the boat. Missed the podium, but came very close. Celsius now has a commanding position in third. And Team Bermuda now back in fourth.
Big East in fifth.
Big East continuing to chase closely in fifth. And LPC in sixth. Performance Boat Center holding on to 7. Coco's Monkey Apparel in 8th.
And Team Allen in 9th.
In 9th. Billy Allen, long night for him. And good to see the Curry Refrigeration team as we look over to Celsius. Ryan Beckley coming out of that boat and campaigning his the old Allied Marine boat.
That's the Atlas.
The Atlas boat, I apologize.
That Tanner Lewis ran a few races with Billy Moore. He's leasing it from him, so Tanner still owns the boat. But Jackhammer right now is putting a hurting on this fleet.
They've got that boat dialed in just right.
Now, Steve, when you've got this commanding lead like they have, like you had,
right?
Is there a mindset of, okay, this is only Wednesday, we don't have, but you're just in a rhythm and it's just kind of going right, so you just kind of keep it there, correct?
It's different in Key West because first time I won a world championship in 2002, it came down to time. So if you have the ability to get time, you got to make it when it's there. So we had that very discussion in the boat today on the last lap. And I'm like, when you have the ability to make time in Key West, you make it because you might need it Sunday.
That's right.
Oh, that's true.
Comes into the tiebreaker. Joey Cook was talking about that's exactly the case. And
it's like when people say a college team is running up the score, but if you want to get to the national playoff,
when you're looking at 11 boats in these fleets like this, anything can happen. You can finish first, second, and then all of a sudden you're coming back with an 11th. You're out.
Absolutely.
You're dropping hard. Again, a third is as good as anything, as long as if you don't have a lot of repeat winners. And at that point, again, time is huge. Distance traveled is huge in those tiebreakers. So and that with an 11 boat fleet, or even your 450, you got 6 boats running in there. You got to be thinking, hey, I got to be worried about all this stuff because it's 6th place.
Sure.
That last day, double points can be a huge
double.
crush.
Yeah, Sunday is a killer.
All right.
Absolutely.
Beautiful shot down there in front of the Fort Zachary Taylor. This is some tricky water, changing bottom.
Yep.
And bow got a little bit up there. They steadied it down.
A little prop walk.
And as they head in front to the Monster Energy fan zone here at the Truman Waterfront, Jackhammer. 1 lap to go after this one. They'll take the checker flag. They've still got 1 lap to go. It'll be the longest lap of the day for them. As they take it on in. Now the battle comes for third.
Let's
and
see,
fourth.
Let's see where North went.
This is such a great shot as you watch these boats come down. North Wing continuing to hold on to second, just passes in front of us off the camera. We're looking at third place and fourth and
Celsius
fifth.
Is in good shape in third.
Celsius is continuing to hold there, third place. And then off the camera behind them, Team Bermuda still holding on to fourth.
Big East fifth.
And now 4 seconds behind Big East. You'll see.
But you know what? With what you were talking about, I think Gary probably thinks he's sitting okay if he holds that spot.
I think he'd like to get that next spot ahead of him, but he's not willing to take a big chance to get it on Wednesday. I think Friday and Sunday he'll get more aggressive.
Yeah.
Very smart racer, Gary Ballou.
Yeah. So behind those leaders, we had Big East in fifth, LPC 6th, Performance Boat Center 7th, Coco's Monkey 8th, and then Team Allen Lawn Care 9th. Curry Refrigeration just came back through. They're holding up 10th. We've had 1 boat retire, the Allied construction team, the S2 hull that Sean Terenti, Sean Connor debuted here, had to head back into the pits. By the way, great to see Ryan Beckley back into the boat, the Superstock class representative, grew up here in Key West, campaigned that boat again. We just mentioned all of his local sponsors just right back up, Curry Refrigeration back on the boat. And he's back racing in his home waters of Key West. All right, the Superstock boats are out for the last lap of the day. We got one race left. Boy, it's been interesting here today for the 42nd Annual Key West World Championships, presented by Performance Boat Center.
We got to get Richie.
Yeah, go ahead. And we're going to drop. Steve's got to step away for a second.
Yeah, he was getting a phone call from the chief referee, so.
All right. Question, you better take that. Richie Densison giving him a call. There's Jackhammer. They're coming around for the final time around turn number 2. As we look back out towards the southbound, LPC has been a fine day for them. They have fallen back a couple of spots. They've had some really big days. They were on the podium last year out of Performance Boat Center.
They also were part of the infamous side-by-side trip in the sky
with
Team Allen Lawn Care.
Allen Lawn Care. And here we go.
But Jackhammer,
they're handling some of that out, a little bit of disturbance to the water going out as the tide moves out.
The team from Manatee Marine has made a big impression in offshore racing in the last few years.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. He and his partner, Ricky Maldonado, now he's got Julian Sun as the throttle man, and they are going to take the checkered flag here today. In super stock class, there's your winner, Reese Langheim and Julia Maldonado in Jackhammer, a 32-foot victory hull with those twin 300 horsepower Mercury Racing 4-strokes. And taking second here today, Casey Boaz and Darren Kittredge in Northwing. So second place.
They're going to be happy.
Boaz is a 2-time Superstock World Champion in CR Racing with his good bud Rob Understall. Here comes third. Celsius on the podium with Chris Hopgood and Jay Muller.
Chris has to be happy. That's their best finish.
Team Bermuda will take fourth.
Yep.
And they'll hold off Big East Construction. Big East Construction takes fifth. LPC, sixth.
Seventh goes to Coco's. They moved up one.
Yeah, they got by Performance Boat Center, as did Team Allen Lawn Care. They take eighth, and Performance Boat Center falls back to ninth.
And Curry Refrigeration rounds out the field.
The entire field, for exception of one, comes around all within about 30, 35 seconds of the leader and your winner, Jackhammer, here today.
All right, that was a nice prelim. Now the fun starts.
Supercat coming up next.
Now we get Supercat.
Supercat, 11 boats racing here today. A big difference in the sound you'll hear from those big naturally aspirated Supercat engines from different independent manufacturers.
Yeah, that's what's good. You got Sterling, you got Cassie, HRE, Scorpion. Yeah, they're in Vinny Diorio's boat.
That's right.
And
then you got the Mercury Racing.
Horsepower Mafia runs their own.
That's right. That's true.
And Liquor Split with Johnny O'Loughlin instead of John Paul Edmond is driving today. And they have the 860 fuel-injected Mercury Racing engine. So let's see how it shakes out.
So taking the checkered flag, there they are, victorious today up on the deck of that victory hull. It's got some miles on it, but let me tell you what, it's got a championship pedigree.
Now, Steve, what is the feeling of standing on the deck with a checkered flag in Key West?
It's really cool. It's, I don't video a lot of things and put it on Facebook, but I videoed that and put it on Facebook right away, And those guys are having a blast, and I'm really enjoying the fact that they left the boat in gear and neither of them are driving it, and they're just up there having, enjoying what just happened. That's very cool.
Now, will you go to Englewood?
I really like Englewood, but it'll be hard, and now the boat's damaged.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get done here, the boat's got to get fixed for Friday. Yeah, we're raceable right now, but we got some things to fix. We got hit pretty hard, evidently.
Where do you have to send it back to?
No, No, we're gonna. It's not totally cosmetic, but it's close.
Yep. Okay.
And it'll do it.
Now, will Britt help you with that, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe he will. He's busy. He's got to run a Supercat here in a minute. But,
Yes.
Aside from that, I believe he will. Seeing that boat, it really makes you wonder. Sean Torrente is obviously super smart. And
Yes.
I couldn't help but think of being here many years ago racing, and In Excess was the boat, right? That everybody was in, right? And then you look at Sean's boat, and it's so neat and tidy, and there's nothing, everything on it's so minimized. I'm like, that's no excess.
Yes.
Complete opposite.
But knowing Sean, he's going to make it work.